This Just Drive segment of The Exchange is sponsored by Michigan Auto Law. They're becoming all too familiar. Traffic accidents caused by the actions of a distracted driver. Oftentimes, it is the cell phone to blame. Here's hoping you're never responsible for such a crash, but if you're the victim of a distracted driving accident, the folks at Michigan Auto Law are ready to help. Attorney Brandon Hewitt joins us now to explain how. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're representing those who may be the victims of an accident, and the numbers, the statistics are incredible, right?
It's scary. 39 to 49,000 crashes a year, and the number one factor that we are seeing and law enforcement around the country is seeing is that it's distracted driving.
Yeah. Well, you have some ways to find out, to be able to confirm that, so that in a court of law you could prove it. And the number one tip that you have is discovering the type of crash, right?
Yeah, so that can be a really big indicator, right? So a rear end crash with no evidence of braking, right? Usually if you look up, you're like, oh gosh, I'm about to hit them.
Yes.
But you don't hit the brakes, and so maybe that means that you had your head down the whole time and you never saw them. Blowing a red light. Well, why didn't you see the red light? It could be because you were texting.
Yes.
Anything that shows that something was there to be seen and wasn't seen can be a good indication.
Yeah. Number two, witness statements.
Of course, you want to talk to the people involved. So obviously we're talking to our clients, but we also want to talk to anybody who was at the scene, other passengers, and of course we're going to talk to the involved driver and see what they have to say. A lot of times people are trying to protect themselves, and but sometimes they will say, you know, when I looked up, I was reaching for something. So absolutely.
These are telltale signs that maybe their attention was elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, number three, documents and data. What sort?
So a lot of people think that it's just a crash report that's going to come along with the crash, but it's much more than that. We are going to obtain the 911 calls. We're going to obtain diagrams, any measurements that were taken by the police. We're also going to look into cell phone records, and that will require a subpoena many times, but we'll work with the actual carriers to see if we can get not just text information, but data usage that will tell us, you know, that phone was engaged at the time of the crash.
Yeah, it's amazing what kind of information. That cell phone will rat you out, so you might as well just be honest from the get-go. There's black box data too?
Yeah, so everybody's familiar with black boxes on airplanes.
Yeah.
And not everybody's familiar with black boxes in cars. And actually most vehicles nowadays, and we're seeing self-driving cars and that kind of technology move, but most vehicles have black boxes that if we can get to them early enough, we can download the data, which is going to tell us speed, any braking that was done, and some of the forces that were involved in the collision.
You also rely on social media. It's helpful.
We do. So social media is a blessing and a curse, I think, for most people. And we're going to look at what people are posting. We actually had a defendant once posting a selfie from her lap that said she was trying to stay awake.
Dumb.
So, you know, it's not just your friends that are looking at your social media.
And then you have access to a whole army of experts, right?
Sure.
Who help you piece this together.
Yeah, so it's not just us. You know, obviously we take pride in what we do, but we also have the resources that we're going to reach out to. So we're going to look at human factors experts. We're going to tell us that if somebody was texting, they didn't have the time to react. Accident reconstructionists to try to put all this data together so we can get a better image of what actually occurred. And reach out to these experts to see, you know, can we get a clearer picture of how this happened and why? It could have been prevented.
Yeah. Well, you can learn more about Michigan Auto Law on their website. We have put a link to it on our site. Just go to WZZM-13.com. Under the Exchange, you'll find it there. Good to have you here.
Thank you so much.